Well, joining us tonight, Acting U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Director, Ken Cuccinelli. Ken, great to have you with us.
Good to be with you, Lou.
And you have been in this this battle for a time yourself.
Yes.
Could you have possibly imagined that the Mexican government would put 20, 30,000 troops to work to secure their borders and to work as our partner on our southern border?
Well, yes, I would say I could, Lou, but, you know, it's worth people remembering because we have such short memories with the news cycle these days. Back at the beginning of 2019, when President Trump was really hitting Mexico hard and threatening to impose tariffs and taking away foreign aid money from the Northern Triangle countries, he used tougher tactics than any of his predecessors, Republican or Democrat, and they worked. And to your point, Lou, now we have better cooperation with Mexico than I can ever remember in my adult lifetime. And I can tell you, as someone who works in the immigration arena, we're having ongoing positive interaction with the Mexican government. They're taking affirmative steps. We need them to keep doing it and continue to stepping it up. But it's playing a big role in the driving down of numbers. And this all comes from President Trump's plan at the beginning of 2019.
And I think there's even greater specificity, and that is his threat of tariffs on Mexican products.
Yes.
That is when we saw a sea change.
And Lou, let me make one comment on that.
Sure.
It's important to think different part of the world about China. So there the president has actually imposed the tariffs. So it wasn't like some prior presidents who would draw red lines and then back off of them. He has proven that this is the sort of threat that he will impose.
Yeah.
And that matters to the Mexican government, it matters to the Mexican people, and they've become great partners.
Well, interior enforcement is still an issue here.
It is.
And we don't see a lot of it, I guess, is the problem that I see. While we have seen all of the increases in apprehensions and a sizable improvement from the spring till now, interior enforcement, E-Verify, actually going after employers, it's just not happening. And just as those tariffs, because he put them into effect against China, it was believable when he threatened Mexico.
Right.
There's no threat here right now. Corporate America is having its way, doing just as it wishes.
Yeah, I don't agree with you, Lou. I will say that the crisis at the border
this just got interesting.
Lou, the crisis at the border has drawn ICE agents down to deal with that, and a lot of what you would call interior enforcement is happening right off the bat at the border now with ICE, with expedited removal, what we call the ENV program back to the Northern Triangle countries. So some of this is happening very quickly right at the border to avoid those people ever essentially being released into the interior. So we're keeping the problem from getting worse.
Great thing.
It is a great thing. It's been a big deal, and we've seen, you know, the drop in numbers from May, but what a lot of people don't realize is the biggest proportion of that drop is families because of the Remain in Mexico program. Those two elements have worked together to drive that most logistically challenging aspect of the illegal immigration rush on our southern border down the most. So that piece is all working. It does take agents from ICE who might do other things, but you also saw, and periodically you do see some things that make the news in terms of their internal enforcement. But a lot of what they do is day to day. Look, these law enforcement officers go to work every day. They're doing removals every day, every week from the interior, not just the border. So while we don't drive a lot of news on that because the border is sucking up all the attention, it has not stopped happening, Lou.
You know, I take your point, but I can't think of any extensive raids on employers, any arrests of employers, or any penalty for employers hiring illegal immigrants. And you figure we have in this country some 20 to 30 million, according to the MIT.
Right. About 22 million, according to that study. Yeah.
As many as 30, it said as well.
Yeah.
That was their estimate. I mean, and we've arrested how many employers?
Well, as you know, there are some investigations that are still ongoing, but we also have issued over 1 million removal orders that are being executed on And we have the biggest backlogs both at USCIS, at our agency on asylum, and over at the Department of Justice that they've had in a very, very long time. And Congress is not giving us the tools to attack this problem wholeheartedly.
And they never
Congress,
will.
Well, they don't want to. And
they won't.
And the long-term solution comes with congressional.
They're trying to impeach our president. I mean, what are you kidding me? You think they're going to suddenly decide they're going to there's going to be a
start
picnic
solving
and a
problems
handshake
that matter to Americans? Yeah, I don't necessarily see that happening all of a sudden. But we have to keep pointing out that they're failing to do their job there. And at least, you know, Senator Graham, before they went on summer break, pushed an asylum solution bill, and his partners in that effort fell apart. They left. They left him standing there.
Come on.
The House does nothing but show trials.
Since Senator McCain died, come on. You know, let's be real here. He's not driving policy, for Christ's sake. He doesn't even hold hearings, investigative hearings, and he heads the chair. He's the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
Well,
I appreciate your ecumenical outlook, but I got to tell you, it's all on you. It's all on the folks at ICE,
we know that.
Customs and Border Protection, and we
know that.
Appreciate everything you do.
And we're going to keep pushing hard. And you pointed out that activist judge who read more like a political activist than a neutral arbiter of a judge deciding law. And this is a major factor here as well. This president has suffered more activist judges than any other president before him.
You, as a former attorney general and lawyer yourself, you should be very heartened by the fact the Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court has declared there are no Republican judges, there are no Democratic judges. I can see you're not particularly comforted, but I did my best.
Nor convinced.
Great to have you with us.
Good to be with you, Lou.
Have a little fun.